Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar with Northumbria and Pace Universities from the UK and USA. It is my pleasure to welcome you from all over the world. Please let us know where you're watching us from. And while we wait for some of you to still join, I will just quickly play two videos for you to see who is with us today. So stay with us and we will start in 3 minutes.
Excitement. Leadership.
My favorite thing about PACE is community.
That it fosters a professional environment.
The Fort Simons Honors College.
The support it provides to succeed. PACE means discovery.
The strive for student success.
My favorite thing about PACE is the ability to be who you are.
My favorite thing about PACE is its non-traditional campus.
The amount of creative outlets it provides.
My favorite thing about PACE is that we're in the greatest city in the world.
PACE's opportunity.
Home.
Constant support.
Inclusivity.
A place to find purpose.
PACE means multicultural.
PACE is expression.
My favorite thing about PACE is the opportunity to make a difference.
PACE means love is love is love.
PACE is rewarding.
PACE means finding yourself.
PACE means acceptance.
We just wanna have fun.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed having a little sneak peek of those great universities we're seeing today. So I would like to invite on stage our presenters. We have today with us Edmund Ho and Lina Sernaite from Northumbria University, Newcastle in the UK. Lina will be with you in the chat answering any admissions questions. And from Pace University in the US, we have Jill Olimpieri and Rob Madrano. Hi, guys. Really nice having you. You will be presenting on the employment opportunities at having studied computer-related sciences, and then you will present your own university. So to give our audience an idea, we'll start with the intro, how your future can actually start studying computer sciences, and then we will learn a little bit more about our institutions today. And then during the whole presentation, you can ask us questions in the chat. We will be either answering written, or if we couldn't by any chance, we'll get back to you at the end. But just keep an eye on the chat, because I'm pretty sure that most of your questions will be answered quite promptly. So without further ado, I would invite Edmund and Jill to tell us why should we consider studying computer sciences for a successful future. Let me just make sure it's right here. And then also, if you want to see the careers offered, the different bachelor or master programs at both universities, we have some files for you in the handouts. Okay, so if you don't find what you need in the handouts, ask us in the chat. Once again, welcome everyone and enjoy.
So hello everyone, so welcome, and well, maybe I take a few seconds to introduce myself. So I'm Edmund Ho, and I'm the program leader for the Bachelor of Science in computer science framework at the Northumbria University. So the term is a little bit complicated when we say computer science framework or family. So I will explain it a little bit more when I focus on the course that we are offering. But essentially, for this initial part, I'm going to talk about the career success at Northumbria, especially for our graduates. So this is some statistics we gathered recently on the graduate prospects survey. So basically, 86.7% of our graduate is a positive in this survey. So positive means they can secure a highly skilled employment or further study within 15 months of the graduation. So this is a very positive sign. And out of those 86.7 students, 92.3 of them are in highly skilled employment, and 7.7% of them are doing some studies to further equip themselves. And the majority of the graduates are earning between 20K to 30K pounds per year. So it is a pretty good salary range in the UK. And for sure, we also have a pretty good track record for our graduates to secure a job or do a startup company. So I will explain more later on when I introduce our course. And basically, I would also like to share with you more about the big picture when we talk about the UK or the worldwide bigger picture of the future for computer science graduates. So in the UK, the government set up something called industrial strategy to drive the economy, to drive the direction of different industry in the UK. So in particular, they set up 4 grand challenges. And one of them is AI and data. So I think I don't have to say too much. Nowadays, we all know that how AI affect or impact our daily lives on the positive side, obviously. And there are some other grand challenges, and those are also related to computer technology and automation. So if I have a chance, if I have more time, I can share with you. But I would like to focus on AI first. So in particular, the government is trying to set up some industrial strategies to support different industry, different businesses to embed AI in their industry such that they can, for example, work more efficiently. That will open the door for computer science students, especially for those who have some AI knowledge and AI background, to improve different companies' performance and embed AI into their daily tasks. And also, cloud-based technology is another big direction, popular direction that we are looking into. This is from the US, the statistics from the US, and you can see 6.2 million jobs opening in cloud-based technology by 2020. And also, there is something called the Future of Jobs report. Basically, we are looking into what are the trending jobs in the world. So as you can see from this slide, so the top 3 of them are related to data processing and AI. So the first one is data analytics and scientists. The second one is AI and machine learning specialist. And the third one is big data specialist. So this is essentially just a combination of AI and data as well as cloud technology. So we all know that nowadays with the cloud technology, we can have cloud computing, a lot of computation power to process big data. While you have the capability of processing these data, you still need to have a smart way and efficient ways to process your data. And AI and machine learning is what you need. So combining these 2 big directions, definitely our computer science graduate will have a very promising future. And how our program or our university support our students to make the most out of this trend. So for sure, we have been starting to embed these sorts of intelligence system, AI-related modules into our curriculum, such as the intelligence system, which look into different applications of AI, machine learning into different areas, different industry. AI and robotics, so it is more on automation, for example, in manufacturing sectors, cloud computing and web API programming. So this is related to the cloud computing technology, machine learning, and computer vision. So we try to understand things from vision. So this is also related to the previous slides. There are also 3 of the jobs that is going downwards. So for example, data entry. So these kind of manual work will be less popular in the future because a lot of stuff can be automated. And Internet of Things, basically, it is about how to link up, how to use the internet to link up different sensors. Once you have different sensors information, you can use AI machine learning to help you to analyze or monitor the environment, just like the smart office, smart home, smart buildings, all these sensor-based network system. Also, we are supporting our student to get some professional qualification before the graduations. So starting from this year, we are having a new partnership with Microsoft UK, and essentially we are delivering the Microsoft Azure, which is a cloud platform, the AI fundamentals exam to our students, such that they will getting a professional qualification before graduation. So our colleagues will be delivering this course and also support them to take the exam. So some of our graduates, basically, they will work on software development because our modules, our courses, our programs are mainly related to the technical side of in computer science, related to software development. We also have the game development pathway, as you can see in the short video in the very beginning. So we have a lot of interactive graphics content. So I will talk about this more later on. And we have a lot of students, graduates, secured a job in some of the big companies in the world. And I think that's pretty much from my side, and I will pass it to Jill.
Great. Thank you so much, Edmund. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. My name is Jill Olimpieri. I work at Pace University alongside my colleague, Rob Madrano, who is here as well. He works for our admissions folks, and I work for the School of Computer Science and Information Systems. So we are a school of one of 5 different departments at Pace University. And again, we study and focus primarily on technology. So computer science, we focus on information systems and information technology. So a little bit different than Edmund, who is just the focus with computer science. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview about just the different positions that we often see students gain after their program path and after their 4 years. So just a little outlook on how the growth of technology is continuing to grow from the numbers I have are from now until about 2029. So looking forward, we, like I said, with our 3 programs, we are housed under just technology. So our students focus specifically on that. We aren't housed with, say, an engineering school or a business school. So our faculty and folks are focused primarily on building up hard and soft skills to make our students the most employable once they graduate. So if you look here, some of the positions, I'll explain the first 4 that we do have. And again, these are just really booming tech industries right now, which we do see a lot of our students come in as first-year students, and even rolling into our master's programs are the software developers and engineers, which are a huge, again, booming industry. So you're talking about programming and systems analysis, but also to keep in mind that technology, you also need to have soft skills. You need to be able to work and do critical thinking, and keeping that in the back of your mind as you move through a decision of studying computer science or technology. So we are located, which Rob will tell you later, in the downtown area of Manhattan in New York. So making sure, to know we're down near like the Wall Street area. So a lot of the positions getting held are in the New York area that I'll explain. So right now, our software developers and engineers in New York are making about $115,000 US, which I believe that the average is about 105. And from the next 10 years or so, there's going to be a 22% growth in this area. So if you're interested, again, in really programming and creating applications or websites, this is definitely going to be a good area for you to go into. Secondly, our IT analysts and consultants are averaging around $100,000 US. So if you're interested in the hardware and the computer electronics, so circuits, Arduinos, any cool hardware that you can get your hands on. And again, mashing that up with the soft skills. As we all know, technology is definitely an international sport. So keeping that in mind, doing pen testing and other opportunities. Sometimes we see folks in this area also in cybersecurity. And this field has a 31% growth. So definitely getting, more on the rise in the next coming years as well. Data engineers is one of the more new programs that we have at PACE. We offer it starting from our undergrad into our master's program. So students who are interested in some of the business side of things will really go right into data engineering or some type of data science. So really strong math skills if you're interested in that area. Lots of businesses are now learning how to actually manage and have a contact and organization or department around those areas. So on average, about $98 US for that as well. There's a 25% growth in the New York area for these positions. So definitely a great opportunity to step into if you're interested in really heavy, intense math. And lastly, our information security analyst. So this is going to be your cyber, any of you out there that enjoy cybersecurity, again, pen testing, red teams, blue teams, really diving into the security. There's some hardware involved. There's also some back-end coding. So this is a thriving area, as some of you may know if you're interested. So diving into, again, the analyzing of data, critical thinking, problem solving, but also coming to solutions, which is, and protecting, which is really what the cyber folks are interested in at this point, protecting your information and making sure all your systems are staying safe. So definitely a large average salary on positions in the cybersecurity realm. So at PACE, our students, about 92% of them, after they graduate with their bachelor's degree, are employed or continuing education or serve. So definitely a high percentage of our students get right involved when they do leave our undergraduate program. So we do have a strong career services department that allows students to start nitpicking their interests and to see what career paths they'd like to actually work on once they leave. 98% of them are actually working in the field that they'd like to work in, or a relative area of something that they studied in their undergraduate degree. So just some of our internship students have the access to work with some high-level industry folks or at our corporate partnerships or with our career services department that will match them and help them through the process. So these are just some of the internships. And then we also have opportunity, again, after for the full-time employment. So this is the post-grad employers that we've hired our most recent students into, who really, really get an amazing opportunity to dive into different areas of technology. I believe that's the end of my slides here. So I'm going to pass it back to our, go back one more, and we'll pass it back on.
Thank you, Jill, and thank you, Edmund, for preparing this presentation. Really nice overview of all the opportunities you can have. Now we're going to learn about the two institutions we have with us today. So WISE Northumbria, your possible next home, or at least for the next 4 years. I will once again play the video for you to have a vibe of the campus and of the studies over there. And then Edmund will tell us more about the program. So stay with us. We'll continue in 2 minutes.
So hello, it's me again. So basically, I will use the next 13 minutes to go through the courses that we are offering under the computer science framework. As I mentioned, it is a little bit complicated when we say framework, and mainly because there are different pathways under the computer science programs. Well, essentially, they are different programs, but they share something in common, and I will talk about this in a minute. So again, I'm the program leader, and I'm also a senior lecturer at the university, at the Northumbria University, and also I am teaching and leading the program under the Computer and Information Science Department. So I will mainly go through these 4 areas about your course: the design of our program structure, the campus, our students' experience, as well as our students' future, which I touched it a little bit in the initial session. So about your course, as you can see, you will see there is a very nice, elegant building in the very beginning of the video. So that one is a new building. We call it Computer and Information Sciences building, which is dedicated to our department, to our students. So far I can only see our student using that particular building. So we spent £7 million to build that new building, and we just moved in 2018. So it is still quite new, and we have a lot of new technology embedded in that building. For example, we have a lot of IoT sensors. As I mentioned, one of the modules we are teaching is Internet of Things. So basically, we have a lot of sensors embedded and connect them with a network. And then our students can also try to play with the data we have collected every day, every single hour in their final year. So I will talk more about this when I explain the program structure. And Northumbria is also spending a lot of invest a lot in STEM technology-related areas, such that I'm sure as a Northumbria student in the computer science department, you will have the best learning experience in terms of these technology-based modules. And in particular, our computer science programs, all the pathways are being accredited by BCS. BCS is the British Computing Society, a professional society which enable our students to register as a chartered engineer or IT professional in the future. So this is the entrance point. So because the degree is being accredited, so you can continue to work towards the professional qualifications after graduation. So we'll also nominate some top students to directly get the professional qualification right after graduation. And this is also an important milestone for our programs, because the BCS accreditation required a lot of documentation, a lot of inspection to look into the quality of our program, to make sure the curriculum is aligned with the needs, the demands in the industry, as well as up to date. And when talk about our programs, as I mentioned, this is a framework, and under this framework, we have 4 main pathways. The first one is the Bachelor of Computer Science. So this is what we call a general computer science, which means we mainly focus on software development. We don't have a specific application domain that we will be focusing on. So you will be learning a wide range of knowledge, which will be very useful for you to work in the software development area. We also have computer science with web development. So as you can see, that means modules specific related to web development, and especially related to cloud computing. And this is how we construct this web development pathway. And we also have computer science with artificial intelligence. So with AI, so I just mentioned in the future for our graduates. So it is a very popular topics nowadays. We know that AI can help us to do a lot of automation. So we also cover this area with a specific pathway in our program design. And we also have computer science with games development. So that's why you will see something related to PlayStation 4 in our demo video. So basically, we have a dedicated team which our colleagues will teach game programming, for example, game designs, and we also have very good relationship with the game companies in the UK. For example, we last year when I was organizing an international conference, I invite some speakers from Disney and also from the Rockstar. So if you have ever played the famous game GTA, you know which company is Rockstar. Which company Rockstar is. Basically, we have a lot of collaboration, and we also invite those industrial big players to come to our university to do career talk as well as share their experience with our students. So we're talking about the future employability for our students. So we have a very close collaboration, close relationship with a lot of industrial players, as I mentioned. So these are some of the big companies which are sitting in our employer advisory board for our programs. So we also have a lot of inputs from these collaborators, such that we can always refresh our program contents to increase the employability of our students. When talking about the program structure, so you may wonder why we have to make the program structure so special. So we have different programs, different pathways, and we call it computer science framework or computer science family, mainly because they will be sharing some common modules in the first 2 years. The main reason behind is that we want students to come to Northumbria to study with us, and when they are exploring different areas under computer science, they may certainly find which particular pathway will be the best for them. For example, after 2 years, maybe they want to focus more on AI, they want to focus more on games. So to avoid any extra years that they need to, for example, we do 1 year when they want to change the pathway, we want to make sure they can explore different basic fundamental knowledge in computer science and make the choice at the end. So we allowed our students to change their pathway before the final year. That's why we decide our program with the first 2 years as common years for our students. So all the pathways are studying the same modules. For the first year, again, we are not expecting any new student to have computer science background. I can see one of the questions in the chat is about do we need to have any particular computational knowledge or programming knowledge experience before joining the programs. For our programs, we don't have any. We would say it will be easier for you to get started with or engage with the modules, but we will assume that all students are having no experience where we teach our modules. So don't worry about this if you haven't studied any computer-related subjects before. And in particular, we focus quite a lot on programming. So we have 2 programming modules for the first year, such that you will have a very solid fundamental on programming, which is one of the important area in software development. We also have databases to learn how to manage data in a more efficient way. Web technology is related to web development. Computer fundamentals is related to hardware. So we also want to understand a little bit on hardware, how we store data inside a computer. System analysis, which is related to how to plan ahead before you start developing your software. For the second year, so we will extend the core important subject areas a little bit more. For example, programming and web. So these 2 are very essential and very useful for our students in their career in the future. And we also learned more about computer network security. So security is also a very hot topic in recent years, because nowadays we share a lot of sensitive information online. A lot of computers are networked, connected over the network. So we need to learn how to protect our data, how to protect our computer systems. We also introduced the intelligence system, as I mentioned, so such that all of the students in all pathway will at least have some knowledge in intelligence system, in AI, and how can we apply these AI technology into different areas. For example, you can create a smart agent in a game. So games with AI. You can create Autobot to reply questions, to answer questions on a web page, which is also a web with AI. So there are lots of crossover between different areas. We have the optional year 3. Optional year 3 is a paid placement year, so you can work in the industry for 1 year, and we will assign a tutor to support you, to talk with you, to understand your progress, and also meet with your line manager in your workplace. So this is completely optional, and you can skip it and directly go to the final year of your bachelor degree. But you may also choose international academic exchange, such that you can go to another country to study for 1 year. So we have a dedicated professional team to have a one-to-one session with you to tailor-made your study journey. So for example, which overseas university you would like to studying in, and also decide what are the best options for you. So for the final year, so this is a little bit more complicated than the previous years. As I mentioned, the first 2 years of study are the same for all pathways. But in the final year, so we start to look into the pathway-specific modules. For example, for computer science with AI, so we will study the purple bits on the slide, so which is AI and robotics and machine learning and computer vision. So basically, this is how we highlight the important bits. So we are going to learn pathway-specific modules, and also for games students, so they will learn more related to games development as well as games design. You will also see there is an optional module here. So that means student can mix and match their modules. For example, an AI student may be able to take one module from the games pathway, such that he or she can learn more about how to apply AI in games, and vice versa. So we have maximum flexibility to allow our students to tailor-make their learning experience in the final year. For sure, we also have other optional modules that are available for our final year students to choose from. Okay, and about the teaching and assessment, so we have a very nice computer science building, and basically our students can use this. We have a lot of different technology in the building. Basically, we are having 3 modules per semester. So for each semester, you're going to study 3 modules. So that's why in the previous slides, when I talk about the structure, usually we have 6 modules per year. And the workload, for each module, we are usually offering 4 hours of teaching. For example, maybe labs, maybe lectures, or maybe videos under the recent the pandemic. So we delivered some of the lectures online. So, but in total, for each module, you should be studying 4 hours, 4 timetabled sessions, 4 hours of timetabled sessions. And for 3 modules, that means you will be spending roughly around 12 hours for attending classes. And then we will be expecting you to take around another 36 hours for self-studying. Okay, so I believe I will quickly wrap up my presentation, but essentially we have a very nice campus, and we have this completely new building, and I would like to share with you more later on, but I'm running out of time, so I will do it quick. So for the placement, we also have a lot of advisor and good relationship with the big companies in the UK, and basically we highly encourage our students to take the placement year, such that the student can get more working experience, and also understanding the needs from the real world. And we also have an Amsterdam campus, so we also encourage our students, if they are considering to spend 1 year, the optional year in academic exchange, they may also go to the Amsterdam campus to learn more about business, or as I mentioned, there will be some other partnering university to offer the overseas exchange in the optional year 3. So I am going to work this up very soon. And basically, we are having a very good track record for our graduates to secure career in the future. So, and I think that's pretty much from my side for today, and I would like to wrap it up here. So I'm more than happy to answer the questions that you may have. And thank you very much, and sorry for overrunning.
Thank you, Edmund. It was actually very interesting, and I know that you had some photos from your campus, some conditions. So Lina will share those in the chat in a few moments. And so here we have with us Rob Medrano from Pace University. Rob, are we going to see your video first and then hear more about school?
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Put the video.
Let's do that in case someone joined a little bit later. I think it's a really nice 1-minute video to share with everyone. Enjoy.
Excitement. Leadership.
My favorite thing about PACE is community.
That it fosters a professional environment.
The Fort-Simers Honors College.
The support it provides to succeed. PACE means discovery.
The strive for student success.
My favorite thing about PACE is the ability to be who you are.
My favorite thing about PACE is its non-traditional campus.
The amount of creative outlets it provides.
My favorite thing about PACE is that we're in the greatest city in the world.
PACE is opportunity.
Home.
Constant support.
Inclusivity.
A place to find purpose.
Hi, everyone. I'm not sure what happened to the video, so maybe we had a little bit of, it's okay. So this is the world that we live in regard to technology, and sometimes things, blop off and so forth. We could always send you the video later on. It's not an issue. I appreciate being able to hear. Thank you, Edmund, for speaking so well about your respective university, and it's nice to be able to piggyback in regard to our university, Pace University. And like my colleagues that are across the pond in the UK, we are in the United States. More specifically, we are in New York. I know that it says the Lubin School of Business, and we're talking about computer sciences, but it's good for students to know that our original founding program was accounting back in 1906. And over the last 100 years, we have transitioned from just being a business school to programs within arts and science, computer science, which is a great program, health, education, and a few other programs, law, sorry. But the thing that I always like for students to realize is that even though that says Lubin School of Business, that is where our New York City campus is located. It's right in downtown Manhattan. So when students are thinking about return on investment, thinking about opportunities in their CPT, when they're thinking about opportunities in internships, OPT, there's really just a handful of places that students really will get the maximum exposure. One of them is being right there, downtown Wall Street, where you have some of the top 100 companies in the world, in finance, in tech, and so forth. So just realize for students, when they are interested in studying computer science, you also want to make sure that you have a strong internship and companies to be able to fall back on. So one of the things that I'm always proud to say is that as a university, we are a private university. We are small. We have about 13,000 students, but out of the 13,000, 2,000 are international from over 100 different countries. So you're looking at about 15% of our student body are international. So we as a university understand the challenges of an international student. We understand coming to the United States for the first time, coming to New York for the first time could be quite daunting. So we want to make sure that we provide all the services, adequate resources, and being able to help students from the onset, from orientation all the way to graduation when they meet with an advisor. So we have very good experience with working with international students. Besides also our international population being high, over the last year, we've had over 300 employers recruit on campus and virtually 93% of our international graduate students are employed or continuing in their education. So again, rest assured that when you are coming to study at the university, you are going to have mentorship from the beginning, career services assistance, and you're going to have employers coming on campus meeting with you. Now, one of the things that I always like to mention to students is that something that's very different from PACE, that I like to say from amongst everyone else, is that we have something called the PACE path. The PACE path is meant for a student when they're coming on board to be able to meet with an advisor or a mentor, not just for the first semester, but for the length of your time at the university, for at least 4 years. So what does that mean? You'll have someone that's going to help you with your classes, with strong academics, ensuring that you're taking courses that you need to take to graduate within 4 years. Sometimes it can prolong and it can extend, but you don't want that. You're also going to have someone that's going to ensure that you have time for your courses in terms of internships, in terms of being able to join clubs, being able to have a part-time job. Everything, again, is always leading towards building a strong career building internship. And I'll cover that in a little bit. At PACE, one of the big things that we really strive for is that the students have a go-getter attitude. Many of our students, when they come on to campus after their first year, they're looking for internships. And many of our students have between 3 to 4 internships under the belt, which is going to help them in terms of employability. Again, for our students, especially for our postgraduate students that may be on, we offer scholarships and assistantships for our postgrads. Students always have career services and internships, and you will have the opportunity to network with high-level graduate alumni. I want to speak a little bit about computer science. I know Jill is also maybe on the chat, so she can answer some of the questions. Although we are a school that has many different streams, from business to arts and science, computer science, and so forth, but these are the programs within specifically in computer science. And what we do is, academic-wise, we want to make sure that your courses are both practical and theoretical. Not only that, you're going to have professors in the classroom that not only have their terminal degrees, their high academic achievements, but they also have real-world experience. So what that does for you is, yes, you are learning from a textbook, you are learning some theoretical applications, but there are moments when what you read in a book is not necessarily what you can apply in the real world. That's what having a faculty member that has real-world experience come into play, because that person is going to say, that's maybe what you read, but this is how I handled the situation. All our projects are project-based learning, where students will gain knowledge, being able to solve complex problems, working on capstone projects. So that way, again, when you're faced with a dilemma, you'll know how to be able to combat that. Everything, as I mentioned before, is leading towards career development. And I'll cover a few more slides regarding career services, specifically what they're going to do for you, and examples of actual internships. And everything is very supportive because, again, we are a small school, 13,000 students, classroom sizes of maybe between 14 to 17 students. It always fosters a sense of community. Students are always able to help each other out. Faculty are helping students out. Office hours are easily available to students. So it's very important for us to ensure that our students are being serviced, again, from when you first start school all the way to when you graduate, and even afterwards as an alumni. Undergraduate programs, we offer a bachelor's in science and arts in computer science, science and IT, and in information systems. And on the postgraduate side, we do offer a number of more different programs within software engineering, analytics. We also have a doctorate in computer science, and we have a few more programs that are coming in the next year within human-centered design. Again, many of our labs are listed right there. New York City's Design Factory, Sonnenberg Creative Labs, which is on campus, Applied Data Science Networking Lab, and Cybersecurity. So anything in the world of computer science and practical learning, it's right there within our campus. It's very easily available for all of our students. Now, we are not just a one campus location, we are multi-campus. We are a campus that's located in New York City. As I mentioned, I showed you the picture. We also have a smaller campus, which is in Westchester, New York, and it's in Pleasantville. And so our New York City campus is considered the urban campus, which is what you've probably seen, like typical New York City, tall buildings, side streets, walking all over the place. It's busy. And then we also have our Pleasantville, which is more suburban. And I'll kind of give you some more insight on that. But some of the reasons to choose the New York City campus, I think it's fairly obvious when I showed you the pictures. It's the home base for everything. So the minute you walk out of the building, out of your campus, out of your dormitory, you'll be able to go anywhere via the metro, via the underground, be able to walk in so many different locations, whether if it's in Wall Street, whether if it's in Times Square, whether if it's in Silicon Alley. I think some students may know of the term Silicon Valley, which is within the West Coast region of the United States, California, etc. But New York City offers also Silicon Alley. So you have companies like Google, Vimeo, Spotify, Timler, and all these other companies, So the opportunities are endless. So being able to just walk out, you're right there and you have things. And again, it gives the student the opportunity to be able to network with business leaders, not just from our alumni base, but also from the connections that we have. So living on campus, I know some students may think that the New York City campus is urban and it doesn't offer opportunities to live, but yes, we do have 4 options. About 3/4 of our students, 74%, do decide to live on campus. You are not obligated, even as a first-year student, to live on campus. So if maybe some of you are lucky enough to have some family members or have opportunities to live with someone that you know, you can do that. But I think sometimes first-year students at least want the opportunity to be able to live on campus. So we do have 4 options for that. These were taken on different times, but our main building, which is One Pace Plaza, was recently renovated under 2 years ago. And the idea at the time was to be able to create space for both fostering learning with your fellow classmates, as you can see right here next to each other, or even having the opportunity to kind of be by yourself in a booth setting. This is the front. Again, there's the Welcome Center. Right behind it, you can see there's some conference rooms. It can be subdivided, so students can, a number of different students from different clubs can partake. We also have recruitment events, smaller venues that also come in onto campus and speak to our students. Again, open space, lots of opportunities for fostering of ideas, working on your projects. Safety and security, I know that working in New York City and for students thinking about New York City, it can be quite daunting and a bit of a scary experience. But one of the things that you should realize is that our campus has security 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. If something were to occur, students would receive either an email, a text, or a phone call, all within seconds of each other. The other thing is our New York City campus does have a few unique experiences as well. So right across our campus is City Hall, which is where the highest level political official is located, the mayor of New York City. So with that does come extra security outside of PACE, but there is additional security. And then adjacent to our campus is also One Police Plaza. So that is the New York Police Department headquarters for all of New York City is right next to us. So with that being said, with our security on campus and also the additional security that's outside, students do have a little bit more of a relaxation period, that there is an additional presence around the area. Now, Westchester is more the suburban campus. So it's more the campus that you're probably more synonymous with in terms of knowing open space, greenery, lawns, being able to sit under a tree. But it is smaller. But we wanted to be able to offer another option for students that want to be in New York, but not necessarily in New York or New York City, better said. A couple of reasons. Our campus is newer, the Westchester campus. Plenty of opportunities still within the area for computer science, for financing, better said, with companies like MasterCard International, the credit card company, PepsiCo, the soda beverage company. So many of our students are still able to take advantage of being in that area. And at the same time, although you're attending Westchester, it doesn't mean that it precludes you from anything that New York City has to offer. It's one university, 2 campuses. So if you're attending Westchester, you can take a shuttle van that we provide for students, or even a metro train that goes into the city within 45 minutes and be able to partake in everything New York City has to offer anything that the New York City campus has to offer, even with internships and job placement, etc. So you are not relegated to just being in one campus. You can partake in either campus events. Living on campus, similar to the first, our Westchester campus does offer 5 options. Again, similar, 75% of our students live on campus, which is roughly to about 2,500 students. Again, open space, very different. That's the student center behind where the cafeteria is located, all the student clubs, different, also a few extra classrooms, conference rooms, and so forth. And this is actually the train station. That's actually, you can see it's called Pleasantville, and right below it is Pace University. Gets into the city, Grand Central Station, within 45 minutes, very easy. Now, for scholarships, I know students always ask questions in terms of eligibility. Couple of things. Pace University is test optional, so we do not require the SAT or the ACT. If you wish to submit it still, you can, but we do not require it for admission, nor do we require it for qualifications of a scholarship. Scholarships are merit-based, so it's based on your grades in school, so hopefully you're all doing very well. There are different tiers for qualifying, and as well as each campus does offer different levels of scholarship. So I'll give you an inside tip. The Pleasantville campus does offer some more opportunity for scholarship qualifications, and you are still learning the same curriculum. So just in case that's an option, some students may attend another university and then wish to transfer. PACE will accept your credits based on the syllabus and the grades, and at the same time can offer transfer scholarships. I know some students were also asking in regard to the IB credit system. PACE University does accept students from the IB diploma. We love our IB students. Generally, we look for students that have at least about a minimum of a 27, and if a student should have a minimum of a 4 for any of the HL courses to transfer over. I can always be reached via email as well if there are any questions more pertaining towards transferability of the IB program. But we do accept the IB diploma, and we love our IB students. So with career services, again, one of the things that I wanted to tack on from the very beginning was in terms of return on investment. I think when students are and their families are making the investment to come to a school like in the United States to PACE, they also want to see what they're getting out of it. And we want to make sure that students are getting the best experience. So when our career services office meets with the student, they're making sure that regardless of their program, whether they're an art student or a computer science student or a health student, they're going to be assisted in terms of an internship, interview skills, how to work their CV, their resume, and all that. So we want to make sure the students come out successful. On average, usually international students are making a salary of about $70,000. Just realize that it depends on the major. So for our computer science students, you're looking at salaries north of $100,000. For some students that are coming out, let's say within arts and science, it may be a little less. So again, with averages, you have to take that with a grain of salt. But just realize that 86% of our bachelor's and 93% of our master's students are employed or have continued on their education. So it's very important to realize. And again, our students do well because they're highly driven. They're considered go-getters. Students come to New York City, they want to take advantage, and we fuel that. We want to make sure that students are taking 2 to 3 to 4 internships that they can to be able to get all that experience under the belt. They're learning how to navigate through multicultural environments. Being in New York City does offer students the melting pot of so many different cultures. And many of our companies have realized that our students are loyal. And this is why companies continuously, time and time again, come to PACE to recruit our students because of that factor. Now, I think when students think of an internship, they may think the traditional cliche that it's something just to have on a piece of paper to say that you worked at Google, at Microsoft, at Ernst & Young, but you think the internship is really just running an errand or making copies or something to that effect. Again, that is a misnomer. We want to make sure that our students are doing real-world work experience while they are in school. Normally, it's not paid, the internship, but you are getting college-level credit. But again, it's giving you experience in working in that field. Maybe you learn that you love it. Maybe you realize it's not your thing. But sometimes internships can also lead to full-time employment. So again, it just opens so many of doors. And you can see some sample internships. You're looking at cloud engineering, data applications, data warehouse intern, social media and public relations intern, web design internships. And again, this is not just a title of an internship. These are positions that students are actually working in a company doing these type of responsibilities. Very important to realize that. And again, we have a program that's called Inspire, which is one of a kind in the US, where it's really designed for the international students, in-person online workshops, a career fair that's just for international students. We have an application so students can follow the progress. And again, we have the numerous number of career panels and networking events from our prior alumni in this Inspire program to our current students. So students, they want to know, I've been talking about the internships, so just realize you have to be a student attending for 2 consecutive semesters to then qualify for CPT, which is again giving you that curricular practical training internship, and you can do as many as you want. And then we have our friend, the OPT, which is where it allows you to be able to work in the United States anywhere between 1 to 3 years. So for students that are coming into computer science, that's considered a technology field, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So students have the ability to work in the United States for up to 36 months. And again, this is the premise to give you that real world experience to be able to take that back to your home country. There's no guarantee that you would be able to stay on an H-1B, but that's really not the idea. However, I can say, and as it was mentioned in the very beginning, for our students that are in tech, there's so many opportunities available that they really need strong individuals that are coming in tech. So work hard, do your thing, make yourself known, and who knows, the sky's the limit. And again, as I mentioned before, these are the STEM programs. So you can see on the Seidenberg, which is computer science, those are all the programs, whether it's a bachelor's or a master's. Maybe perhaps then you want to go for an MBA, to get a business program to complement your computer science. So you can see that there's a MS in customer intelligence, financial risk management, and so forth. So you can always continue your education. Checklist is very simple. It requires an application. For students that are attending this webinar, the application would be waived, the fee. So we would not require it. Transcripts, which we would require on the onset just to review your file. But again, when you're enrolling, we do need the official one, letters of recommendation, and then some level of English proficiency, whether it's a TOEFL, IELTS, Pearson, and we also accept the Duolingo exam test for our postgraduates. Some programs would require the GMAT or GRE. Most of our master programs for computer science will not, unless you're going for a PhD program, then they may want to see it. And as I mentioned, I think one of the questions was, do students that are going for master's program, do they need to have a foundation in computer science on the undergraduate side? And we do not. Our computer science program, they work with students who do not have a background in that, and will continue to foster and build students up with the foundation. So that's one of the great things about PACE and the staff, that we accept students from different disciplines to be able to get them up to speed. And that's our contact information, intladm@pace.edu. And that is my presentation. So hopefully I was able to kind of catch up on the time. I apologize if maybe I sounded a little fast, but I think I was able to keep my breath. I've been doing this for a long time, so I think I have it down packed. And
really easy to follow.
I'm sorry?
Really easy to follow, I would say.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate the time, and I'm here to answer any remaining questions.
Yes, I'm going to give our audience a few seconds to think of the last question. I've seen you've been super active in the chat, answering everyone. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Rudina just wrote us a really nice comment. I'll just wrap up the video of PACE just to finish it, and then I will read the questions that were not yet answered. Enjoy.
Find purpose.
PACE means
Find purpose.
PACE means multicultural.
PACE is expression.
My favorite thing about PACE is the
Excitement.
leadership.
My favorite thing about PACE is community.
That it fosters a professional environment.
The Fourth Timers Honors College.
It was not meant to be today. I'm sorry, Rob. We'll have that video sent to everyone with the presentation. Okay, let's all come back to read a few of the questions that were not answered. Lina, thank you for coming back to us. Rob, Jill, Edmund, wonderful presentations. I will start with the IB question. Lina, you wanted to go over the overall IB admissions requirements, as well as Rob, because Rob also had something to mention about the course credits. So if you can just wrap up the IB topic for us.
Yeah, no problem. So I posted a link for everyone to see the entry requirements per different country, so you can explore those. But if you are interested in IB, we ask for 28 to 30 IB points. So that depends on the program. Most of the time it's going to be 28 IB points, and you have to have 3 higher level subjects at a grade 4 or above. So 3 higher level subjects at grade 4 or above, and overall it has to be 28 points. So those higher level subjects can be in any subject. They don't have to be maths or physics or anything else like that. So that's the same for all computer science programs that we offer at undergraduate level. So for anyone that asked, you don't have to have any particular background. And I hope this is clear now. Just let me know if you have any other questions. I know IB can be confusing.
I would piggyback. I think I mentioned some of it within the presentation. So for us, we're a little bit more on the lenient side. Although I mentioned, we look at it around between 27. We do have sometimes some students that have between a 25 and 26, but they may have some strong extracurriculars that we may factor in. In order for the transferability, they should be no less than a 4 though. So we do require a 4 on the HLs to transfer over as credit bearing.
Thank you, Rob. I was just preparing to read the next question because I'm sorry if I don't read something correctly. It was from Kihan, and please let me know if you've already answered. I haven't seen that. Kihan, hi, I'm interested in front-end development, and I'm familiar with the basics. I know that I have to be familiar with HTML, CSS, React.js, and my question is, do I have to learn another programming language except JavaScript? And I think here you did mention to a few of the questions that you actually don't need to have that level of preparation yet when you're applying to your universities. But if Rob and Lina can just quickly go over the basic requirements and what can give you if you're already familiar with those, with some of the program courses.
I think for Northumbria, sorry to just jump in, I think Edmund will be better suited to answer this. He did that in the chat already, but if you want to just go over it again, Edmund.
Yeah, sure. So I think, in addition to the technical side, you may also want to learn more about, for example, human-computer interaction. For example, how to make the user interface to make it better. That's why at Northumbria, we also have the human-computer interaction modules, which help you to improve the usability and accessibility for your web page, especially because we mainly focus on user friendliness on these very real-world applications. We also have some other modules, as Jill also mentioned, at PACE. So, for example, systems analysis. So these are more about how to plan ahead, especially. I personally work as a web developer before I moved back to graduate school and go back to work in academia. So I know this area or industry pretty well, I would say. And sometimes for web developer, it is very important to talk to the client to understand what they need, what they want, and especially those sorts of system analysis will be very helpful, I would say.
But just to reiterate, you don't need to have any particular background. You just have to meet the requirements that are listed in that link I sent before, where you can see different requirements for every country. So I will send that again in the chat so you can have a look.
Thank you, Lynn. And I see that Jill is agreeing with what you're saying. I guess that would be resonating.
Yes. Yeah, same for PACE. So no, all you have to do is go through the admission process with our admissions folks. You don't have to have any previous experience in any of the majors at PACE. But like Admin was saying too, some of that might be the graphic front end part of it. So we do get a lot of students who are interested in like the graphic arts who have a very artsy eye on the design and the user experience. So, but again, those are all things that you would learn through the different courses and curriculum.
Great, thank you so much, guys. And I know there was a question earlier on online education. Of course, we're all hoping that we don't have to, and that the more and more will be going on campus. But if someone is really keen on starting to study with you, but just is not able to travel or is having a job in their country, is there any online course or anything you can offer, or type a link in the chat for those students from our audience who prefer to still keep the distance learning?
Yep, definitely. I can send that in the chat.
I mean, for PACE, I think from the very beginning, when things were starting to occur last year, we started kind of thinking already ahead of the game in regards to being able to offer students the opportunity to, if they were able to come into the United States, because really depending on their embassy, on our embassy being open there, to be able to get an interview, they could come in and take their classes on campus with all the safety protocols. But at the same time, we did offer students the opportunity to take classes online as well, whether it's on the undergraduate or postgraduate. So either way, students were not hindered, and we were able to successfully enroll students for both last fall and the current semester for the spring. And we foresee, if anything, there are any challenges for this fall as well.
That's really encouraging news. Well, thank you so much. I don't see any further question. Mohammed just typed something on Middle East countries being listed. I'm not sure which one it's referring to, but I'm sure that you can take a look. And then I would just like to wrap up today's session by thanking everyone. I mean, you guys for your presentation. And I know you worked some extra time to have that introduction, which was super helpful. And to our amazing audience, I mean, so many questions and so different curriculums. So you had us travel with you to your countries as well. I hope that was helpful. And we will be sending you a recording of today's webinar over email in case you missed something, or in case you want to go to the beginning and watch that PACE video, which was not collaborating with me today. I did not study IT, so that's something that I could use you guys for. Thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
It was a pleasure seeing you again, and stay safe, and thanks everyone for watching.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, thank you.